Hello, Vijit. First of all, thank you for joining us at the Net Talk. I know it's a tough time for you. You have lost someone very close to you, and you have still agreed to come on this interview. That shows your integrity levels to the commitment that you have made. And also, joining in the evening on a rainy day with a low network. That also shows, the amount of value that you hold towards Net Talk. Thank you for that, first of all.
Most welcome.
Thank you. Abhijit, the whole point of coming to this interview with you was to understand about the journey that you have had on digital marketing and your thoughts, what we had discussed over a call. I just wanted to understand more about your career, about yourself, and many other things about digital marketing through a guru like you. So if you could just throw some light on your career, a small introduction, that would be helpful for our viewers.
So I did my BTech back in 2004 from NIT Rourkela. And while I was passing out, everybody was joining the software development stream. So a lot of people had a lot of clarity in their minds. Like some people wanted to do this, some people wanted to do that, some people wanted to become coders. At that point of time when I was passing out, I did not have a lot of clarity in my mind. So I just decided to go with the flow. Everyone is joining the software development field. Let's go and join the software development field. So I sat in campus interviews and I got through. So I joined a company called Syntel India Limited, which was based out of Pune. So, but during my studies and during my stint at Syntel, one thing that always excited me was like, there used to be two magazines. One was Business Today and one was Business World. So whenever I used to read all these magazines, I used to get really excited because that actually gave me a lot of kick. कि okay, इसने ये strategy कर दिया तो sales इतना बढ़ गया. So this company changed the logo and did the rebranding and got so much of value out of it. So all these things actually gave a kick to me. So software development, I was doing decent, but very within a year or something, I could understand that this is not my cup of tea. So I did what most of the people do after BTech, get into an MBA college. So that's what I did. So I was in Pune. I was in love with Pune. So I think you are also from Pune, right? So
yeah,
people who go to Pune, they fall in love with Pune. They fall in love with Pune culture, they fall in love with Pune food, they fall in love with FC Road and all that. So I decided to take an MBA from Pune itself. I joined Symbiosis University. So I left my job. I joined an international business marketing course in Symbiosis International University. And so basically, the idea was to get into a core marketing job. I'm just so sorry. I'll just have to put my laptop on because sometimes some pings come. Yeah. So yeah, the idea was get into a core marketing job. But when I was passing out, there was a recession. There was a global recession. Lehman Brothers had fallen down. It was 2009. And Lehman Brothers had, yeah. So a lot of bad things were happening in the like world of like in terms of job, in terms of job losses, in terms of fresher not getting jobs, etc. So those were the days. So I'll also put one thing here that I am probably very one of the few lucky or unlucky, whatever you call people, who has seen two recessions in a post-MBA career that is around 10, 11 years. So yeah. So yeah, anyways, so I decided to join a startup called Mindfire Solutions, which was a custom software development company. And the reason why I joined Mindfire was like the boss, my ex-boss was the founder and CEO of Mindfire. He wanted a rapid growth path for Mindfire to double the revenue in next 4 years and all that. So it was quite exciting. And in fact, I was supposed to give out a solution to them using the traditional methods of marketing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, what happened is like I kept on reading on various blogs and all that. So I pitched in front of my boss to adopt digital marketing. He readily agreed. So I joined Mindfire full time, and my digital marketing journey started. So
Mm-hmm.
I was there in Mindfire for a very long time, around 8.5 years. So in 2018, I decided to leave Mindfire and join a SaaS-based startup in Gurgaon. It is called RTDS, Real Time Data Services.
Mm-hmm.
So then from RTDS, I again shifted to a company called Zozoday, which is again a startup, and
Mm-hmm.
it has products around employee engagement, employee recognition, etc. So that is how my journey has been till now. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, currently I'm in Bangalore. I moved from Gurgaon to Bangalore in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're loving Bangalore now more than Pune?
yeah, absolutely. So at this point of time in Gurgaon, it would have been like at least an AC switched on.
Mm-hmm.
Temperature would have been something around 42, 43, but here it
Mm-hmm.
is a cool
23,
23, 24.
19.
So yeah, probably around half of it. So yeah,
Okay.
I love Bangalore weather.
Yeah. So now, when you joined Zozo Day, you had enough experience as a marketing head, right?
Yeah,
You had seen all the parts. Did you learn digital marketing before that or during Zozo Day?
yeah, I'll come to that. Sorry, I skipped that part. So as I told you, I used to read a lot of like magazines and blogs.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing my MBA, also whenever I used to get time, I used to read some blogs, and I used to follow some people. So
Mm-hmm.
during those time, 2007 to 2009, digital marketing was not a keyword. It was not a hot hashtag. Okay,
It
so
was
a
it
lot of
was
people.
online market.
Yeah, it was online marketing, but it was not that hot as a career
Exactly.
option. Okay, but
Exactly.
then I somehow used to follow this guy called Danny Sullivan, who
Mm-hmm.
I
Dan
think
Sullivan.
is, yeah, he's probably one of the pioneers when it comes to the field of digital marketing, like
Mm-hmm.
reporting of digital marketing. So this guy
Mm-hmm.
actually started Search Engine Watch, an online magazine back in
Mm-hmm.
1996 when Google and all were getting formed. So
Mm-hmm.
they somehow knew that this guy Danny Sullivan somehow knew that this is going to be a very big field at that point of time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so basically I used to read his blogs and all that. He continued in Search Engine Watch till 2006. Then he got into another digital blog called Search Engine Land. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so he joined Search Engine Land in 2007. So that is how I had read about digital marketing and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
as I said, when I was passing out, I didn't get the right job. I joined Mindfire Solutions, and I was supposed to give a strategy to Mindfire Solutions using
Mm-hmm.
traditional methods of marketing, like email marketing, events marketing, making brochures, etc. That was my KRA. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but then I realized two things. Uh, I used to do a lot of market research at that point of time. So I realized
Mm-hmm.
that some of the competitors of Mindfire Solutions, small software
Mm-hmm.
development companies of India,
Mm-hmm.
they had adopted digital marketing and they were doing pretty good. So they were coming in top of the search results in SEO. They were Some of them also were doing the paid ads. So
Mm-hmm.
gradually, I did a lot of research. I like found out a lot more data about digital marketing. What are the pros? What are the cons? A
Mm-hmm.
major pro which I felt at that point of time, and still it is a major benefit of digital marketing, is like the ROI is like completely measurable.
Mm-hmm.
When I say completely, it is not 100%, but to a very extent measurable. So
Mm-hmm.
previously, पहले क्या होता था? पहले, if I am a soap maker, I am Hindustan Lever. If I were to come up with an marketing strategy, So I used to come up with TV ads, newspaper ads, radio ads, and all that. So first thing was like it used to take a very long time to create those ads. That was the first thing. And you had to book the channel slots. Ki DD mein top slotches, yeah, media buying you used to do. Then you used to talk to a you used to talk to an agency. They used to create an ad for you. So it was a very long cycle. Then आपका ad आ जाता था एक दिन पे, and hoarding भी आता था आपका newspaper ad भी आता था. Lot of things used to come. So at the end of the month, you say कि okay, this is my increase in revenue, and probably this much is attributable to TV ads, and this much is attributable to radio ads and print ads and all that. But in digital marketing, what happens is if you do a search engine optimization, you from with the help of web analytics, you clearly know ki boss, I put 5 people in search engine marketing. I paid them salary for 1 year. I put this much amount on content creation, and I am getting this much of revenue. So basically, this is my spend and this is my return. So you know. And if you're putting some money on paid ads, you clearly know that I am putting like X amount of X marketing dollars into paid ads, and I'm getting these many leads. And out of these many leads, these X number is converting. So it is quite clear. So I went and talked to my boss. Ki boss, let's adopt digital marketing, and he readily agreed. So that is how my career started. I actually initially started my career with all the paid form of marketing. So so started with like Google ads. Then I put my hands dirty on Bing ads. Then I put so LinkedIn back in 2010-11, they were the first social media to come up with like an ad system. So we tried LinkedIn ads also, and that is how I started. And I still remember like during those days, like nowadays, if you search for digital marketing blogs, you will find at least 100 blogs, and all of them were absolutely good quality. But during those days, it was not there. So during those days, I remember that my boss had bought a book. He got it from Amazon US. He got it shipped from US. He gave it to me, and he told me, "Ki beta pad le, then we'll start paid ads." Okay. And I also got, whenever any friend used to come back from US, I used to tell them, "Ki please buy this book for me." And I used to get books. I used to read. Then I used to implement. And one thing I will definitely say, I was very lucky in the sense that we did a lot of trial and errors at that point of time. And my boss was accommodative enough to do that. मतलब कुछ भी mistake होता था तो we used to find out, but we used to solve it. So every day we used to sit on the data कि इतना clicks आए, इतने search terms आए, इसमें इतना negative हो सकता है, इतना positive हो सकता है, and all that. So I'll not get into all these technical details at this point. So that is how my career journey has been. But if someone is looking to start the career in digital marketing at this point of time, I get a lot of questions from a lot of freshers, from my cousins, my relatives, ki I want to start a career in digital marketing. How do we go about it? Should I join this XYZ course provided by this institute, or should I go and join this classroom? This is XYZ by this XYZ college. So my suggestion to them would be like, probably they should not do that. Probably they should go for an online course. And so there are, if you look at various websites, there are thousands of online courses available, right? Okay. But then there are some courses which comes to top of the mind. Okay. So I'll also tell them for the freshers, and I'll also tell them how to select a course. So probably some things to look at it is like who is teaching. So what is the credential of the person who is teaching that course, and how many people have taken that course? So so that is probably a very good thing. Like a popular course will be taken by hundreds and thousands of people, but if the course is like 5-star and it is taken by only one person, then probably that is not going to be a good course for you. Then again, what is the average review? So basically the number of people who have taken, then the average reviews, and one should also look whether at the end of the course there is a actionable or interactive exercise at the end. Will they give you some kind of certification or not? And the biggest part, is the course relevant in 2020? Because the field of digital marketing has been changing so rapidly. Things which used to work in SEO back in 2013-14 have completely stopped working. Then there are a lot of technical changes which is coming to not only the field of SEO but also to content marketing, to PPC and all that. So probably we should ask this question, like, I am looking at a course which was done in 2017. It has thousands of takers and it has a review of 4.8 on an average. But the biggest question is this course still relevant in 2020? So that is again a question that we should ask. And so finally, please tell me.
That means that's why people, a lot of people keep, taking new certification for HubSpot every year, or Google, or
exactly,
whether it is valid or not. Okay.
Right. So if you look at Google Academy certification for ads and all, it is valid for 1 year only. Because the field of digital ads are changing so rapidly. Google Analytics is valid for 2 years. Google Ads are valid for 1 year. So thing is, like, the things that I learned in 2015 or 16, some of them have become completely extinct by 2020. So that is how rapidly this, for example, जो SEO होता है, search engine optimization, पहले हम SEO कैसे करते थे? पहले it was a game of quantity. When I'm saying पहले, it is, I'm talking about 2012, 13 at that point of time. So basically at that point of time,
I think that in 2012 or 13 something, the Google changes algorithms. Everything changed overnight.
That. So basically there has been a lot of algorithm changes. The point I'm trying to make is SEO, according to me, has become from a game of quantity to a game of quality. पहले क्या होता था, सर्च इंजन के जो बॉट्स होते थे, गूगल बॉट एंड बिंग बॉट, they only used to understand one thing: how many backlinks are pointing to your website from different websites. So वहां उस टाइम पे क्या होता था कि we used to create really average quality of content, and then we used to go and post these links in thousands of websites, so which is called off-page optimization. So a lot of focus used to go on off-page optimization. So gradually what happened is, like, Google's engines, they became so through their AI and ML, they became so intelligent, so they started reading like humans. So basically now Google's engines, they know ki, okay, this content, even if you do not put 10 keywords in that content, the engine is smart enough to understand through different methods, like through LSI, like latent semantic indexing, and Google also understand that this keyword, this word ka matlab ye hai, and this is a similar word. So if the person has used 3 similar words, if the person has used 5 different versions of long tail keywords, so the person does not need to stuff that keyword 10 times. So basically the language the normal people used to understand, the same language search engines have also started understanding, right? So that is how things have changed. Okay. If I answered your question properly.
Yeah, so it's like more of artificial intelligence and algorithm coming together to give you exactly what you're looking for. For example, if you're watching a particular video, then a particular set of video will be given. And if you are going to shop somewhere, then another that kind of things are going to reappear on various different sites, no matter wherever you browse, right?
So these are called retargeting. So I'll come into that. So basically, bots have become very smart. So if you search for something from your phone, and if you search for something from your desktop, the Google engine is strong enough to understand that अगर ये mobile से कर रहा है, so if I'm searching for hotels from my mobile, so probably they are going to throw some nearby hotel ads and a Google map location. But if you are if you are sitting inside your office and you are searching for some hotel, Google will probably not throw all these ads, because the Google knows that, okay, this guy is sitting in his office and they are researching for a long-term thing. So these are very small things, but gradually the engine, the bots are becoming so powerful that it has started to behave like a human. That is what I can say. So coming back to the course part, so I told the people who are trying to enter the field of digital marketing. So basically, what criteria to look at, I have already told. Then some of the good brand names that you should go for. So that probably that is the better way to get into digital marketing field, rather than going into some institute and learn. So some household names, HubSpot Academy is there. So they have a lot of free courses. There is Ahrefs Academy. They have a lot of free courses. There is a SEMrush Academy. They have a lot of free courses. There is a Moz SEO training course. There is Google Academy for Ads. There is Google Analytics Academy. Okay. Then there is HubSpot Academy for email marketing. Google has Google Primer, which is a mobile app which teaches you digital marketing. Google has Digital Garage. So if you talk about PPC, there are a lot of similar household names. So for example, there are sites like WordStream, PPC Hero, amazing courses they give out for free. So I will suggest people don't go for any institutes. Go to these websites. They are reputed websites. They are liked by thousands of people in the across the world for their quality. So go to these websites, select these courses, read them. Most of them are for free. If you have good budget, you can go for paid courses as well. There are various sites like Udemy, Unacademy, Edureka, thousands of sites are there. So yeah, so that will be my suggestion to people who are getting into the field now.
Digital marketing field of it. Now, this is so interesting, that you have seen the very pre-minute start of digital marketing in 2010, 11, and then now you are telling you're still there for almost a decade. Now you have seen the changes that has happened. One thing that has not changed, is that something that you can tell? Few things that you may not have changed or may will not change.
So, there are some basics which have not changed. For example, PPC in paid ads, quality score. So basically, quality aspect has always been there. So the people who have stick to quality in terms of search engine optimization, in terms of content, in terms of paid ads, so they have been they have seen very good growth. So when I say quality in content creation, so when you have a team, so suppose you are a business, you have an in-house team, you do your research, you buy white papers, you buy industry research papers, you create very good quality content. So that is quality. So so companies like HubSpot, etc., they have struck to that level of quality. But then there are a lot of newcomers, there are a lot of people who had come, who had tried to build links in a very unnatural way. So you said that 2012-13 में Google का एक ban आया था. So probably you are talking about so there used to be so a lot of changes, and Google, whenever it finds out that something unnatural is happening and people are trying to game the system by doing anything improper, so Google has penalized all of them through these algorithm changes. For example, there used to be sites with lot of links pointing to each other. So hundreds of sites एक दूसरे को link कर देते थे, and then they used to get benefited, but one Google penalty came and all crash. There were people,
Okay.
second such example I'm telling, there were people who used to take 10 different websites with exact keyword names. For example,
Mm-hmm.
uh, for example, we are talking about digital marketing blog, right? So what
Yeah.
I do is like I take 10 websites. One is like topdigitalmarketingblog.com,
Mm-hmm.
topdigitalmarketingblog.india.com, right? So basically I was in Mindfire doing SEO for custom software development. We used to do
Mm-hmm.
iOS application development. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
we had one website, or एक website के अंदर we had one or two pages where we used to optimize that page for a couple of keywords. But then some of the competitors, what they did for short-term gains, iPhone application development company in India, exact domain .com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, iPhone application developer.com, exact domain ले लिया, optimize कर दिया, they got in rank 1, started getting a
Mm-hmm.
lot of business. But that never
Mm-hmm.
worked, because sometime, like, probably that worked for 1 year or 2 year, but sometimes some algorithm change or something will come that will kill all this, like, shortcuts. And I'll tell you one thing here: Google is doing 600 to 700 changes to its algorithm per year. So basically it is two algorithm changes per day. So all these
Okay.
things are not being announced to the public. So whenever there is a huge algorithm change, just like
Mm-hmm.
अभी एक bot algorithm change आया था. In May also an algorithm change came. Okay, it was
Mm-hmm.
about UI, UX, etc. So whenever there is a huge change, it comes. So it gets announced, and then people like Danny Sullivan, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
who are at the top of things, they used to give the algorithm change a name. So
Mm-hmm.
किसी को XYZ name दे दिया, किसी को XYZ name दे दिया, but Google never gives the names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay. So they coined the name Dan. People like Dan Sullivan. They coined the name
yeah.
for particular
I've
set of
just
things that are
given an
taken.
example. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
Danny Sullivan actually used the name search engine marketing, paid marketing,
SEM.
for the first time,
SEM.
but he never took the credit for that. So people like these, so websites like Search Engine Land and all these people, so they used to give the names to the Google algorithm change. But the Google
Mm-hmm.
algorithm change is generally uh, triggered to bring out a huge change. So if your website, if like basically we have, most of the people have Google Analytics installed. A lot of other
Mm-hmm.
companies also have some advanced form of analytics softwares. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see after an algorithm change, if you see within a day or within a week, your traffic is going down, like
Mm-hmm.
by a huge margin, then probably you should know that you did some of the negative things which has been picked by Google. So your
Mm-hmm.
site has been penalized by Google in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
So these penalties can be as severe as like your site is completely vanished from Google searches. It can be
Yeah.
as severe as that. And it can be even lesser severe, like you see a traffic drop of around
Mm-hmm.
25, 30, 40%, 10%. Then gradually you try to do a lot of changes in your website. You try to contact Google through webmaster
Mm-hmm.
route, and
Mm-hmm.
probably that penalty gets taken care of within 3 months or 6 months. So
Okay.
yeah, that's about Google penalties.
That's great. Yeah, that's great insight. Anything else that you can tell viewers, because this kind of things are going to be important for people who also have experience but never explored this side of digital marketing of making money. Because the sites that get penalized is basically of one person owning multiple domains for promoting his one single website or a blog that called to make money out of it. It could be promoting products, or it could be for doing affiliate marketing for promoting new products, or or to making quick buck or something like that. And that's how
Right.
blogging is trying. picked up and all. So you cannot host it on a one single server. You have to host it on a different server to save yourself. But then there has to be a different website altogether, which is not related to all these things. In case all this goes down, that is still there, that you can actually take it from there, right? Those websites can.
Right.
That's amazing.
So this
so
is,
that,
yeah, please.
so yeah. So what we can probably analyze from this is like, if somebody has done a digital marketing course and wants to do something about it, you probably are as good as starting a blog. So if you start a blog from home, it could be about anything. You are uh, reviewing electronic products or umbrellas or shoes or makeups or something that you can talk about. A lot of brands will start getting attracted to you. Now, what happens when you start blogging? When you start blogging, you actually become good in content, social media, SEO, link
Right.
building, because you're doing everything all alone. And probably you can teach a lot of different things to people as well, because you are in practice every day. So if someone is someone is fed up with this digital marketing after 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or someone just wants to start, I think rather go a little bit of research on blogs and start writing, or thinking about blogs,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So continue, Abhijit.
So yeah, so let's continue on the freshers track, the people who want to get into the field of digital marketing. As you rightly said, uh, starting someone's own blog. So basically, that's a process where you have to find a niche area, like on what you want to blog. You can think about blogging in any area in which you are strong. So probably, like I have my own blog called abhijitpanda.com. So in there I blog on digital marketing aspects. Similarly, I have a couple of blogs. So one is on web development, one is on mobile application development, and another is on software testing. So there I write, or sometimes I get content written about the field of software development, about the field of app development, etc. And that is probably the best way to learn digital marketing on your own, because as you rightly said, you are sitting down yourself, you are keeping your hands dirty, right? So first thing is like, you pick a area, then you pick a CMS. Probably 95% people would choose CMS like WordPress, because WordPress is free, and WordPress has a lot of plugins. It solves 90% of your problems through plugins. Then yeah, so once you create your blog, you start writing. So when you are like, this is also a very important thing. What happens is, you sometimes you think that you know about a topic, but if you are asked to write 1,000 words on that topic, so you are struck there. Okay, you might have got that feeling, because when I sit down to write my blog, I am sometimes struck कि यार ये मैं 10 साल से कर रहा हूँ, but what to write about it and how to start it. So once you start writing, it will help you a lot, like in your writing process and all that. Then probably it is a very good idea to use a plugin like Yoast SEO plugin, or a new plugin has come. It is considered to be as good as Yoast SEO. It is called Rank Math. Okay, so using different plugins, you have to solve your own problems. And I'll suggest them also to get their hands dirty. Get into the CMS, get into JavaScript, get into HTML, get into CSS, change something here and there, and learn. So that is how you learn, right? And so once you start working on your own website, it is also like, how do you grow as a digital marketer? And some other things which are advisable at this point, like, are do a lot of networking. Like you and me talked, we networked, and this relationship will not end after the end of this video, right? Probably will be connected throughout the lifetime. So do a lot of networking, go to industry events, go to meetups. There is a website called Hello Meets. It is very active in India. I have attended a couple of Hello Meets in Bangalore. They are really good. So basically, when you meet people, you grow relationship with them, connect them through LinkedIn, WhatsApp, and all. exchange ideas. Like suppose जैसे डेडलाइन है कि इस महीने के एंड में इतना लीड लाना है, so you are stuck, okay, you are not able to work out some solution, so you call these people, you ask them ki bro, I am trying all these things but it is not working, what do I do? So sometimes they suggest a lot of good ideas which works. So yeah, good networking, then probably yeah, one thing is very important is like get into web analytics. So Google Analytics is free. Yeah, so even if you are only SEO guy, you are a content writer, you are a content marketer, you are a social media person, it is highly advisable for all these people to get into web analytics. At least use one free software of Google Analytics. Then there are a lot of other advanced form of analytics softwares. Some of them which I have used is like, one software is called Upra, and there are many other softwares. Basically, Google Analytics will give you a bird's eye view of what is happening in your website. Ki how many people have come to your website, how many people have landed on this page, how many people have bounced from this page, how many people have gone to the next page, etc., etc. Like Upra as a software, like which is time customer journey mapping software. So these kind of softwares will give you like for example, you come to my website, so the software will give you your IP address and your computer details or your mobile details, that you have come from your Mac, you are browsing in Safari, you landed on this page, you spent 48 seconds on this page, then you interacted with this button and you went to the next page. So things can be as granular as that. And there are even advanced form of softwares which will tell you like, suppose you have a form in your website, okay, so you see a lot of people are dropping off, people are not filling up that form, but that form is very important for you because it is a lead gen form, okay. So what do? So you use all this advanced heat map softwares like Mouseflow and all that. So they will tell you that, okay, people have come to the website, they've spent a lot of time on this area, but they have seen like 10 different fields on your form, so they are probably dropping off. So that is how the software will tell you that don't use so many forms, rather than use something which is called foot in the door technique, which is used by marketers. Like if you go to a website like online insurance site, I'm not able to recollect the name. First they will ask you, where are you from? So you will select a city, then they will ask your first name, they will ask your last name. So basically a human instinct is like, this site is asking you only one detail, so let me give it. But एक के बाद एक page में the site is getting 10 forms filled, 10 details filled. But अगर आप एक ही form में उसको 10 fields दिखा दोगे तो probably he will be worried. So yeah, so coming
that
back,
is called as traffic bounce, lead bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So coming back, web analytics software everyone has to use wherever they are, whether they are doing PPC, whether they are doing SEO, whether they are writing content. And lastly, like try to create a personal brand. So be active on your LinkedIn page, be active on your Instagram, be active on your Pinterest, be active on your social media, go to different conferences. Like if you are confident enough, go and speak in the conferences as well. And also add some certifications. So when you add some industry accepted certifications, recruiters and other people will take you in a very positive manner. Okay, this guy is Google Analytics power user. So they will know that, okay, he has cleared this certification. That means he understands a lot of things about Google Analytics. So this guy is a SEMrush certified marketer. So your respect will increase. People will give you the value that you have, and you will get the ultimately you have to grow up in the corporate ladder, right? So indirectly you are doing all this by creating your personal brand and certifications.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. Wow, so much of information. So, Abhijit, since you said that you have your own blog, abhijitpanda.com. So, what kind of a blog is that for our viewers just to understand?
So I have like 7, 8 blogs on my own. This is
Mm-hmm.
one of them, and there is a blog which talks about uh, my hometown. It's just aggregation of different news and all that about my hometown. It has got thousands and thousands of followers in social media and all that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one. Through abhijitpanda.com, I have started to solve the problems which is faced by fellow digital marketers like us. So whenever we are
Mm-hmm.
struck somewhere, like how to monetize my blog, okay, how
Mm-hmm.
to create this, how to start your own blog, how to find a good hosting provider for your blog, like that. The very
Mm-hmm.
basic problems, I'm trying to solve that. So I mostly write about technical SEO. I
Mm-hmm.
write about a different form of monetization. Like
Mm-hmm.
आपने site तो बना लिया, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? So you are putting a lot of money into it, and you are putting your effort into it, and
Mm-hmm.
every year you have to buy the domain, you have to pay for the hosting charges. So every
Exactly.
year there is a fixed cost plus your own efforts, which is also like
Mm-hmm.
translates to a cost, right? So
That's right.
how do you take care of that? So basically you have to monetize your blog. And uh,
Mm-hmm.
how do you monetize your blog? So it's not that कि आज मैंने वेबसाइट बना लिया, कल मैंने monetize कर दिया. That's not a good idea. Though
Mm-hmm.
technically it is possible, but it is not a good idea. So basically there are players like AdSense, which you know.
Mm-hmm.
There
Google
is
AdSense.
Bing. Yeah. So so my advice is like once you establish a certain authority of your website, once you start
Mm-hmm.
getting a certain amount of visitors to your website, and once
Mm-hmm.
you start, so basically that should be organic, like SEO traffic, not कि मैंने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में 10 लोगों के साथ शेयर कर दिया, 10 लोग आ गए. That is not a sustainable way. So once you
Mm-hmm.
start getting sustainable traffic from content marketing, from SEO, from referral marketing, or affiliate marketing probably. So,
Mm-hmm.
so it is probably a good time to monetize your blog. And there are
Mm-hmm.
many ways to monetize your blog. Like the easiest way is to talk to a player like Google AdSense, or there are at least 15, 20 major players, media.net.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are there. And Bing system is there. And there is a blogging ecosystem only for women,
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneur also. That's also there.
Okay.
So basically, all these sites will have their own requirements. So
Mm-hmm.
so they will give you the requirement that boss, आपके traffic में इतना traffic होना, आपके website में इतना traffic होना चाहिए. Then only you can
Mm-hmm.
monetize your blog. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like completely easy. You just put a JavaScript into your website. They will find
Mm-hmm.
the right places in your website, and they will start putting the ads. And
Okay.
there is a real time option happens कि मतलब आपके वेबसाइट में 6 स्लॉट्स हैं, and depending on the traffic quality and content of your website, plus depending on the user's intent. So what
Mm-hmm.
used to happen a couple of years back in Google Ad and different
Mm-hmm.
display ad format is like कि आपकी वेबसाइट में जो कंटेंट था लोगों को वही ad दिखता था. Okay, now
Mm-hmm.
things have changed. Now things have based on your intent. So you said before some time, you told that ki, like you go and try to book a flight from Pune to Bangalore and make my trip today. Then you will go to 10 websites and you will see that same ads
Prices.
throughout. Yeah, so exact price भी match हो जाता है, right? You go and
Exactly.
check one pair of shoes in Amazon, then you will keep on seeing all this like ads and all throughout.
Remarketing, retargeting.
Yeah, so yeah, so so you will be amazed to know how these websites, how much data they have about us. For example, Facebook is collecting data to the minute level of likes. So Facebook knows a lot ki what kind of person you are. Probably your good friends will not know, but that is how in the details these companies know your data, and that is how they are trying to personalize the advertisements towards you. इतना personalize कर दिया कि मतलब customer, like companies are getting good success rate, but somehow privacy issues are always there. So yeah.
So how does one avoid surveillance during this digital era? This is all done to what do you call it, to do surveillance in the name of digital marketing or in the name of digital platforms, right? So how does one avoid it? Is opening on incognito mode would help, or is just a mirror fake mirror?
It's a very good question. So I also am not very sure about this, but some basic things which you can do, as you rightly said, opening in incognito mode. Then if you are using Chrome, Google Chrome, you go to Chrome settings. Inside Chrome settings, you have an option to switch off your third-party JavaScripts. So if you switch off third-party, see everything, all these ecosystems, everything is working through JavaScripts only. Okay. So if you switch off your third-party JavaScripts, then you will not get all these ads, unwanted ads. But the thing is, like, sometimes, like, I, as a marketer, I cannot do that because I need to see a lot of ads. So because whenever I create ads, I need to get some inspiration from all these ads. So you won't believe, whenever I'm browsing any website, sometimes I'm just taking screenshots कि यार इसने बहुत बढ़िया ad बनाया. Okay, so maybe probably in future I'll use it somewhere.
That's taking inspiration, not copying.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
So privacy is actually a myth, but we can do certain steps. And Facebook you can do a certain number of steps to ensure that your privacy is maintained. Same with LinkedIn, Twitter, and all that.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah. That's great. Now, if somebody wants to start digital marketing into field of digital marketing, let's go back to basic. Now, if you know that COVID has picked up, a pandemic is here. A lot of people are lost their job. Some people are not even getting job. Some people are on the verge of quitting jobs because their salary has been cut. So they don't want to serve their employees or employers for that amount because they think their value is a little high, which is also the good move. Why you want to serve that as well, right? So what's the message for those people who are affected right now? How can they search jobs using digital marketing or digital platforms? What are the things that they can do?
That's a very good question, actually. So one thing, all of us, like including you and me, the experienced people as well as the freshers, so we need to do is, if you are losing your job at this point of time, or something happens, like God forbid, whatever happens, like, so basically you should try to channelize our energies, right? So one way is like start your own blog, start your own Instagram channel, start your do a lot of research on all this, read a lot of blogs. There are hundreds of websites which will give you all this data. Then probably basically it is like getting your own hands dirty. Otherwise, the amount of theories that you read, you will probably never understand a lot of things. So basically start your own YouTube channel. So do all these things, do a lot of certifications, like read all these blogs like Search Engine Land, Neil Patel, and all this for people who are trying to get into the field of digital marketing or any other field. So they need to find the relevant blogs in their websites and the relevant certifications. Then they need to utilize their time. So if you sit down at your home worrying ki yaar salary aata tha band ho gaya, main kya karu and all that, and if you get into depression, all that, that's not advisable. And it is very easy to tell this, but it is very difficult to implement. So, so my advice to all these people is like, utilize your time. And I'm not telling you to get into digital marketing. So find something which you like. So generally, whenever we talk about successful people, some names which come to our mind is like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and all that. So why are they so successful? Probably the heart and the mind are in perfect sync, but for most people, it is not. So I was in the field of software development, but my heart and my mind was not in the perfect sync. So that is why I chose to leave the field. So similarly, if anything gives you a kick, try to get into this. So like if you love gardening, get into gardening, become very good at gardening, then create your own YouTube channel. So I know a lot of people. So there is a lady from IISc who is earning a lot of money from her YouTube gardening channel, and she has bought a house out of it. So, and you also might have heard about Harsh Agrawal, who is probably the best name in India when it comes to blogging. So find a good niche for yourself. So if you like cricket, start researching, become knowledgeable, then start your own Instagram channel, your own YouTube channel, and start a website, start a blog. And if you are good at it, if you maintain the quality, you'll definitely get some value out of it. That's what I can say.
Okay. Yeah. There's one viewer here, I think by the name Last Orphan. What a name.
Yeah, he's a friend.
How does marketing play in OTT era with Netflix, Hotstar, etc., where customers pay to get less ad, to go less ad? Basically, he's telling that if you watch it on YouTube, you get a lot of ads while watching, right?
Right.
Now YouTube also has launched a premium plan where you can skip those ads as well. So how does marketing play in OTT platform?
So it's a very
tough question.
Yeah. It's a tough question. So recently, some update has come regarding OTT ads. So I have not read about it, but the only thing I can say at this point of time that video marketing is also changing a lot. So so basically there are a lot of there are a lot of technical changes coming which are making the jobs redundant. Okay, I'm slightly getting diverted from the actual question. So basically the systems are becoming so much intelligent at this point that things which used to work at one point of time are probably getting like not working properly. Okay. So some examples like that is like Last Orphan, my friend Sandy, he asked about OTT advertisements. So basically people are creating new monetization ways, which is probably a good thing. But the things that worries me a lot, I'll slightly divert again and try to touch upon this point that around 50% of our search queries are becoming voice enabled. So so with devices like Siri, Alexa, Cortana, Google Assistant, we are not typing anymore. We are just asking the question through voice. Okay. So that is one worrisome trend for me. And why it is worrisome? That companies have, you were saying something.
Are they also reading our minds or thoughts? I'll tell you how. A lot of time I've noticed I'm thinking about something and it's coming on the internet. I'm not even spoken to somebody. I'm just thinking about it.
So I'll come to that part. So this is how this is happening is there are advanced software companies. So basically they are implementing when you are switching on the TV, okay, and you are talking, okay. So there are elements which are listening to what you are saying from the TV, and through that also they are trying to serve ads. So this is one, okay. to serve, they're trying to serve the right content to you through ads or through anything. Then probably you have heard about beacons, etc., where you
Yes.
are like walking down a road and there is a nearby supermarket where 30% discount is going on Nike shoes. So through the beacons, they will know your location that, okay, you are inside this mall, and let me push an ad to that person that, hey, XXX, XYZ, why don't you visit our site? And so we have a 30% discount. So things are becoming scarier. Okay. You might have heard about programmatic advertisements. So programmatic advertisement is like ad being served through AI. Okay. So पहले मैं गूगल में डिस्प्ले एड्स कैसे बनाता था. So I used to sit and think of a good graphics. Okay. Then I used to think of a good tagline. Then I used to call my graphics designer. Okay. I used to sit with him. I used to create 10 different forms of like banner ads ki skyscraper bana diya, different sizes hote hain. Okay. So now what is happening? Google's AI ML engine is so smart. You just give a line, you just give a basic image, and Google is creating all the variants of ads automatically. Okay. Then video marketing mein kya ho raha hai? Like he was asking, there are this virtual reality and there is this 360-degree video. So you do not need to go to a videographer anymore. You sit down here at your home and you are creating your video ads. Okay. Then you will be astonished to know there are some websites like Quill, Wordsmith, Articulu. They are AI enabled content writing engines. You just feed a topic to the these website like Quill and all. So what they will do is, like, there is something called NLP, natural language processing. It is a AI based tool. So through all these things, so they are writing the content on their own. Okay. And the content is like plagiarism free also. So this was a headline in SEMrush. So are you trying to understand the point that I'm trying to make here? The technological disruptions are sometimes, it worries me a lot. Ki there are a lot of people I know. There are a lot of people I know who have spent 10 years of their career in content writing. And now there are...
It may not be relevant in future very soon.
Probably. See, for example, myself, I have dedicated 10-11 years of my life in learning how to create an ad, how to serve an ad. But then an AI engine will come. They will serve all the ads automatically. So what is the need of a person like me? So another such example can be the AI powered chatbots. So nowadays in most websites you have seen that the chatbots are there. So they have been fed with most of the frequently asked questions, and they answer 55 to 60% of the queries of the normal visitors. So just think about a stage before when chatbots came. So if a company had to be online 24/7, the company used to employ 2 or 3 people who used to be given training about the company's basics and all that, and how the company works and everything. So now these jobs are at stake because the engine, the chatbot engine is so intelligent. It takes care of most of the customers' questions and queries, and if the chatbot is not able to answer, then they send them to the right phone numbers or probably the right links. So so sometimes it becomes a little worrisome for me. But then that said, anyways, there are a lot of
that said, because there are anyways that AI and ML are going to take over. Not in now, maybe in 5 to 10 years it should be there. So it's going to get into every field now. So jobs are going to be redundant. I think what I heard is like the entry level jobs at least are not going to be there, so it's going to be a little on the higher side, on the upper side, right? So
Right.
that's good,
Hopefully
bad.
so.
I don't know. People, yeah, a lot of new
Yeah.
technologies are going to come, so that's going to be helpful. That's great, sir. So,
Right.
yeah. So, Abhijit, are you open to mentoring? I know you love teaching, sharing your knowledge through blogs as well. If people would like to directly contact you,
Like
are
I have
you
been
okay to mentor?
trying to do that now. Now that
Mm-hmm.
I've got some free time, so I've been approached by a website called Edureka. So
Oh, wow.
for yeah, so they've approached me for like taking sessions, one-to-many sessions as well, and one-to-one mentoring sessions as well. So yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
open to mentoring, but
Okay,
it will
that's
again everything depends on the bandwidth. So
yeah. No, you
nowadays,
should take it. Yeah. My personal advice would be to take it because Edureka is one of the top training companies, you can say, education technology. I have served them in my capacity at my previous agencies, and they are
okay,
also my competitors in the current organization where I'm working with. So I think it's a good thing that people are going to learn from you from that point as well. So my advice to you would
right,
be to take it. Apart from that,
yeah,
we'll also try to see if youngsters would like to join you on this one as well.
right.
So,
And the most important thing is
okay.
like when I was passing out, as I said in the previous part, when I was passing
Mm.
out from my BTech,
Mm.
I didn't know what to do. Everyone joined software development field, so I joined software development field. So if at that point of time I would have gotten a mentor, probably things would have been different. So rather than spending
Exactly.
3 years in software development, I would have directly gotten into the field of marketing or probably digital marketing or probably something
Mm.
else. I don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah, that
that's
was
very
that.
important.
Yeah, that what happens when you have a mentor, somebody who can guide you, understand
Right.
where your mind works, where you're interested in. It has been a very detailed session, so people have enjoyed your, must be enjoying their details about how to go about digital marketing, how to build a strategy, and how you can make money by sitting at home as well once you finish your course, especially on the blogging. So definitely they're going to learn and they are going to follow the blog Abhijit Panda. I'll make sure that it is there in the
Let's hope
description
so.
link as well. That's going to go. Yeah. And thank you again
Okay.
for joining us, Abhijit.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.